Let's use the product and quotient rules to find derivatives using a graph. In this problem, the function p of x is defined to be f times g, where q is f divided by g. And we're given the graph of f and g below. So let's start with part A. I want to find p prime of 3. P of x is f times g, and so I'm going to have to use the product rule on that. The product rule says we get f prime times g plus g prime times f. Finally, we want to know what is this derivative at x equal 3, so I need to find f prime of 3 times g of 3 plus g prime of 3 times f of 3. To find f and g of 3, those are just y values on the graph. So I go to x equal 3. F of x is in black, so it looks like f of 3 is 1.5. G is in blue, so g of 3 is 2. The derivatives of these functions are going to be slopes. Derivative is slope of the tangent line. At x equal 3, the slope of f would be 1/2. You have to go up 1 over 2. Function g has a slope of -2, down 2 over 1. So I'm going to plug those numbers into my quotient rule, product rule. I have to take 1/2 times 2 plus -2 times 1.5. I ended up getting -2 for my final answer. Part B is very similar, except if function q is f divided by g, we have to use the quotient rule. Quotient rule says we take f prime times g minus g prime times f all over g squared. And this time we'll be doing this at x equal 1. F and g are the function values. So at 1, f is 1/2. At 1, g is 2. F prime and g prime are slopes. F prime is still 1/2, up 1 over 2. G prime at x equal 1 is up 2 over 1, so +2. I plug all of these numbers into my quotient rule, and I end up getting 1/2 times 2, which is 1, minus 2 times 1/2, that's also 1, all over 4, and 0 divided by 4 is 0. Finally, for part C, function g of x is a product x times f of x plus x cubed. So I'm going to have to use the product rule on that first term, and then the second term, the x cubed, we can just take the derivative of that normally. So for that first term, I take derivative of the first, so the derivative of x is 1 times the second, plus the first function, which is x, times the derivative of the second. That was using the product rule on those first two terms. The second term, the x cubed, when we take the derivative of that, we get 3x squared. Finally, this problem is asking us to find g prime of 2, so I have to plug 2 in. I'm going to get 1 times f of 2 plus 2 times f prime of 2 plus 3 times 2 squared. F of 2 is the function value, that's 1. F prime of 2 is the slope, up 1 over 2. So plugging those numbers in, we get 1 plus 2 times 1/2 plus 3 times 4. My final answer is 14.